Thank you so much for joining us today. It is a new year, and many of us are looking to rearrange our spaces in order to rearrange our lives in its entirety. What are some of the trends for deco in 2023?
2023, I think, is all about color. People are going to be introducing more color into their homes than they have in the past. It's always been quite neutral, or lately it's been neutrals with grays and cooler colors. And now people are looking to create more comfort in their home, and they're doing that with introducing warmer colors and more texture and more pattern. Those are the kind of trends that I think that we're going to be moving more towards than we have in the past.
How much of a contribution is how the way your home looks to how you feel about yourself and how you then contribute towards the rest of the world on your daily happenings?
I think it's vital. I think that we've all, through COVID, we've established that our home is vital to our well-being, and so much more emphasis is being put on our surroundings and how we feel within our surroundings. And I think it's more about how we feel in a room than how a room should look. You know, you get the idea of what you want the feeling to be, and that dictates how you decorate.
And obviously when it comes to decorating or refurbishing a home, budget speaks a lot with regards to how far one can go. If one is looking to use some DIY, what tips would you have in order to still attain those trends that are nice and trendy in 2023, but also just getting the best out of your decor?
Well, that's it. You've got to be so much more creative if you've got a budget, and you've got to look at your pieces and see how you can change them ever so slightly to be more updated. A lot of the furniture that I know with my customers is hand-me-down furniture that they've got from their parents or their in-laws, and they want it to fit in with their decor because it's good, solid furniture, but it doesn't fit their particular aesthetic. So what I advise doing is either stripping the current finish that they've got on the piece, if it's a painted piece. Underneath is often beautiful oak furniture, which is more on trend, or even painting pieces that perhaps are not fitting in with their current decor. So, for example, if it's a very dark piece, you would strip the stain and you would get the more natural oak underneath, or you would paint a piece that you want to have a focal piece of furniture in your room, and you paint a particular piece that you got from mum in a nice, bold, bright color.
So when you are changing up your room, what should you take into consideration? What's the general rule when moving things around and making sure that space works for you?
Proportion. You must definitely make sure that things are in proportion to the size of the room. You don't want furniture that is way too big for the size of the room. And you must have balance. That gives a feeling of restfulness if there is balance. Often people will concentrate on one particular wall and leave another wall blank. That also doesn't create a feeling of cohesiveness. So those are just things to bear in mind when putting a room together.
There's often also an emphasis on sustainability. How does this impact on deco trends?
Well, that's it. You see, people are not wanting to throw furniture away that they've got and they've had for years. They want to just reuse it in a new way. And so that's important. And it also means that there's less landing up in the landfill if we do reuse it and reimagine it. That's one of the things that I think people need a bit of imagination when they look at their furniture. Just change the handles, perhaps even just change the top. Things that are not too difficult but can really alter the look of something.
All right, Janet Holloway, thank you so much for joining us this morning and giving us those tips on how to rearrange our spaces in order to rearrange our lives for 2023 and becoming better people. That's deco expert Janet Holloway.